my God. Is that the Faces of the Future?
But in perspective, though, my own perspective is also look at Alfonso Ribeiro, Carlton from Fresh Prince. He's an iconic character, but we know him as the iconic character, but he's also a lot less arrogant. You know what I mean?
True.
Like, he's very iconic, but he's a lot less arrogant.
But he wasn't the main guy on the show.
Yeah, it was Will.
He wasn't the A. He was the B Mike. He was the B.
Whoa.
He was a good
Will's the A. Will's the A.
Nah, Will
Ain't no
whoa.
whoa.
Will would definitely set it up so Carlton could be funny.
Yeah.
No, they're definitely 1A, 1B.
No, but
Okay.
Will's 1A.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No, depending on the situation, Carlton was a 1A.
Bro.
Because it's set up. What I'm
Nah,
saying.
bro. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that to Carlton.
No, Carlton's there. But
When
he's
they were-
not. Will is Will.
When
bro.
they were,
Yeah.
of course, we get it now
Right.
in hindsight who Will is now.
Even
but
then.
on the show, Will was not going to be Will on Fresh Prince if it was not for Carlton, bro. You needed that. There was no way.
Carlton wouldn't be able to be Carlton the character if there was no Will Smith being what Will
And
Smith.
I can say that. I'm okay with that because that's naturally an argument that people have.
Okay.
But I think that us saying that also kind of diminishes how great Carlton did his role in Fresh Prince.
Nah, it's like I think of it like this. Let's put it in the hoops perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess when you're talking about Jordan and Pippen, whenever they're both elite at the end of the day. Jordan will still be Jordan without Pippen, but he was even amplified because he had Pippen on the team. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying.
He lifted the load off of Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Because he was great as well.
Type shit.
But it's like, I don't know how to explain it. Like,
now you on pace.
yeah, I know I'm on pace. I'm trying to explain it the right way though. It's just like when it comes to them, it's like, bro, Will's there. Will's always gonna be Will, even if Carlton's not there. But
Yeah.
it made it. He made Will a better Will because he was there. If that makes sense.
But I can,
True.
And that's what I'm saying though. Carlton has a super important
Yeah, but he's
role.
still B.
Yeah,
I don't think
still
so. I think he's a
B.
1A.
He's still B.
I think in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, I think that Carlton is not a B. He's definitely a 1A,
but I still
arguably 1B.
But you still got the B. Still 2.
It's 1A or 1B depending on what the
It's
episode,
still 2.
depending on the episode.
I don't
only
know.
can be 1.
You can't go episode by episode, bro. Because
Not episode by episode. When you look at season per season, you can make the argument that Carlton was definitely important.
he is important. We're not
yeah,
saying he's not important, but you making it seem
He's
like
a co-star.
No, I think that he could have stood out on his own, bro.
No.
without Will.
No.
You think there would be? You think if they had a show just about Carlton,
Like, because you got to see it like this.
Yes,
Like,
actually, I think they
Will made it like over like gas like Carlton. You're cheap, like you're preppy as fuck,
Yeah.
bro. Like, you know what I mean. That's why it was even more funnier. You know what I mean. So if we would just been Carlton by himself being a preppy kid, like what would he do to
from the
to
comedy.
entertain the crowd?
I think you're right
on
from
the
the
comedy side.
From a comedy aspect, you're not wrong. I think the dynamic of them made sense, but I also think it worked because when we also look at who Will was, you was a kid from Philly,
Right.
and you got to try to fit in. And it's like, bro, it's like Will's talking about I listen to Malcolm X, X, Y, and Z. He's like, bro, let's listen to Barry Manilow,
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? And it's like
Yeah.
it made the dynamic funny because it's like, bro,
But
like let's have the typical conversation. If you talk about, and I'm not saying this in a rude way, but if you talk about just an urban TV show about a bunch of kids from Philly, we know how that dynamic goes.
For sure.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
for sure.
What I'm saying is when you have somebody who can play a prep role so well to the point where y'all bounce off of each other and make that dynamic special, I
But
can't
in a
be
way-
like he can't do nothing.
but I feel like Will did that with all the family members.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Exactly what you're saying. Because in a way, like
Even with Uncle Phil, he was
No,
doing
right.
this.
in a
okay,
way-
but
you got to see it like this though.
So-
Will was the
let me-
centerpiece because like he literally opened up each character. If you get what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying. The show revolved around Will and changing them. I get that. That's the dynamic of who Will is.
Right.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, even in that aspect, you got to understand that as Will is changing everybody around him, everybody around changing Will. And one of the most
True.
people that changed Will was Carlton.
True. You're not wrong about that.
Like, he definitely changed Will,
He did.
and he wouldn't be the person that he was if Carlton wasn't there. And even with
Will was always Will though, bro.
Will was
Like-
always Will from a standpoint of he's a static character. He was somewhat of a very static character where when you talk to him, he changes. He's charming. He's this, he's that. Like that's the core.
moments.
He has the sporadic. But Carlton, what he added was that element of, yo, I grew up as a prep kid and this culture shock is so weird to me. So now the dynamic is like, oh shoot, it's funny because you're watching a culture shock and watching them learn about each other. Like us just seeing an urban TV show, it's like the Boondocks. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, but it's like the Boondocks. We know how the Boondocks will go because we've seen the hood smart nigga versus the classic hood gangster nigga. You know what I'm saying? Compared to
I
you got
get
a
what
prep
you're
kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I'm just saying with Carlton, I personally think that the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is not the show that you think it is without Carlton.
You think Carlton was a more important piece than Uncle Phil? I said Dr. Phil. Uncle Phil?
No.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know, bro.
Yes. If you're talking plot wise,
I'm talking about overall to make the show what it is.
to make the show what it is. No, I think Will and Carlton stole the show.
I'll agree with that.
I mean, yeah.
I'll agree with that. I think the dynamic was different. It was create something different.
As far as a symbol in the show, nah, I think Uncle Phil was more impactful.
More impactful?
Yeah.
I think he was impactful to black TV to see like black fathers.
Or what black excellence is, my nigga. Like, he was a judge, bro. You saw he was in a big ass house showing like family structure and things like that. I don't think that teaching life lessons.
But for me, it's like even when you look at that, right? Like let's even break that down. Even when you want to use the black excellence card as well, like I don't even think that you get to that point if you're not even in conversation with your cousins. You could have a rich uncle. Everybody has a rich uncle, rich auntie. Right. But if they don't have kids for you to talk to and converse with, there's not really an impact. Just gonna be that rich uncle, rich auntie that's gonna disappear and come back during holidays.
But to me though, like even in every episode, you would see like Uncle Phil was always there. Like in some, like being
a present father, just
being a present father, uncle, whatever, but just trying to stay involved to each of their kids. So I feel like throughout the season and shit like that, people definitely, gravitates to that. You know that's why I made the show even more impactful in my eyes.
You gravitate towards him. I'm not saying you don't gravitate towards him, but what I'm saying is that, in my opinion, the dynamic and the shenanigans that Will gets into, you don't get the growth from Will without Carlton. Because Carlton is there. Because put it like this, right?
I don't know why I agree because you both are making valid points.
You're valid in what you're saying.
No, because Carlton, if you watch the whole shit, Carlton did change Will. I feel like
he did. He did.
Because my thing is, because put it like this, right? Let's even put in perspective. Uncle Phil is old money, technically. He's old money.
I mean,
he's technically, take race out, he's old money.
In the show?
Yeah.
How does that tell?
You can tell he's old money because my thing is that he's a lawyer. He is a judge. He went to a T14 school. And
that doesn't mean old money though, bro.
But when you see how they talk and converse, even in the first season, they hang out and go to the Hamptons with some white people.
But that doesn't mean old money.
And what I'm saying is, when you go, a classic scene is I'm going back to the car episode where they had to drive the car to the white boy's house.
Yeah,
that particular situation, you see the dynamic there. In that situation, you see Carlton's like, well, the officer, like, it's the classic example of the officer's just doing his job versus, bro, I'm from Philly. This is not what happens. That's why you saw when he came out, he put his hands like this and he put his body on the car. What I'm saying is, Uncle Phil is there to have this idea of what it means to excel towards something. That's why the college conversation was important in Fresh Prince. What I'm saying is the growth that Will has is, yes, it's funded, supported, it's pushed a little bit more because of Uncle Phil, because of who he is. But that catalyst was Carlton the whole time. He had to go to school with Carlton. They had to do a lot of stuff together. They had to share secrets. They had to share the beach house together.
But who put them in the beach house together?
You're right.
That's what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying.
A lot of stuff that they went through and they got in trouble with. Who was the person that got him out of the shit or made him go, like, you guys have to do this together? Uncle Phil.
You're not wrong.
That's what I'm saying.
You're not wrong.
Like,
obviously, it's like a father. You got to work with your brother. But I'm saying is that even with that, I use that as an example. It's like our dads may be like, yeah, your dad is there to be that guiding force, to be a safe space.
Yeah.
But and it's not to say we don't learn from our fathers, but we learn a lot more from our brothers and having conversations with our brothers in the areas with our siblings and our cousins that are surrounded by us more than we do with our family.
Yeah,
I won't disagree with that.
I get that because like I said, we can go off the point like in the beginning of the seasons, they didn't fuck with each other.
Yeah, at all.
But like I said, Uncle Phil did certain shit to make them eventually have a relationship with each other, and then they started being friends, and the next thing you know, they're doing stuff together. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying.
But I mean, it's also, it's that, and it's also the fact of they also understood where both of them were coming from. They're two sides of the same coin. Like, they were very much the type of person where it's like, bro, like, Will is this type of person who wants to do something. Carlton is charming in his own way, but people don't see it that way because it's like, we're looking at Will as this kid from Philly that we relate to.
Cause shit, hold on, did Uncle Phil come? I don't think Uncle Phil came from like the richest.
He didn't.
That's what I'm saying. He's on the best of both worlds type shit.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that as you get older, though, and you start to see a certain type of money, and you start to hang with a certain type, especially at that time, it's like that type of stuff you kind of throw in the back of your mind. It's the same thing with Aunt Viv. It's the same thing with Aunt Viv. Because think about it, right? Another episode, the dance episode.
Yeah.
Before we move, because
you're gonna continue.
When we talked about the dance episode, you saw when she was trying to do the ballet stuff, it was weird. But then when they put on the everybody,
she got her bag.
She got her bag. You know what I'm saying? It's like you throw away the old stuff.
I want to say throw away.
Even Aunt Viv is like her the way she carried herself and stuff like that. But like there's moments in time that Philly came out.
Yeah, the Philly came out of her.
Philly came out of her. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I get what y'all are saying.